A 30-year-old cleric, Pastor Prosper Igboke, has reportedly committed suicide after losing his senses on arrival from a church ministration in Abia State. The Abia State cleric, who hailed from Perua community in Monochi local government area of the state, jumped from a two-story building after being locked up in a room by his pastor because he was not mentally stable on his arrival from a church ministration. End Time Salvation Media reports that the incident happened last month and Prosper was 30 years old at the time of his death. The maternal cousin of the deceased, Prosper Igboke, on Saturday took to its Facebook page to debunk an initial report that the deceased died because he was rejected by his lover, whom he had trained at the university. According to Igboke, the clergyman did not die by suicide and wasn't jilted by his girlfriend. Igboke said though he jumped from a two-story building, it wasn't a conscious attempt to kill himself because he was battling with some mental health issues which he suddenly developed and so cannot be held liable for his death. Igboke also said the girlfriend spoke with his mom, telling her that she never betrayed him. The cousin, whose mother's maiden name is Cecilia Igboke and is a younger sibling to Prosper's father, Prosper Igboke, said Prosper went for administration in Newi, and when he came back, he had lost his senses. He wasn't mentally coordinated, he said. No one knew why his pastor locked him up and asked some people to watch over him while he went to a meeting instead of taking him to a hospital to find out why he wasn't mentally coordinated, Igboke added. Igboke, while lamenting, said the deceased jumped from the window of the room he was locked in and his pastor refused to give them his phone to investigate what happened. The pastor claimed that Prosper had gifted him the phone. Chikwindu Anuga, a writer and another cousin of the deceased, also took to his Facebook page to debunk the initial report. Anuga wrote, blogs went to market with a story that Obum committed suicide because he was jilted by his girlfriend who he trained to university level. He was wondering when he became rich and we didn't know because the story did fit into certain narratives. The agendaists picked it up and ran with looking back. They said he committed suicide because of heartbreak. Meanwhile, the poor girl they maligned stood with the family in the time of grief. He was buried in our farmlands, not because he committed suicide, but because in our tradition, it is seen as an abomination for parents to bury their children, he said. It is the duty of children to bury their parents. When a single man or woman dies, the corpse is buried far from the village so the grave won't be a source of grief for his parents.